Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of McKill's Dead Chronicles. I'm your host, Kenny Williamson, Dr. Kenny Williamson. Today, we've just got all kinds of stuff to talk about. I have been looking in, of course, I look into stuff all the time, right? So I've got some things to talk about, which goes right in line with what I've been telling people for a long time. It has to do with genocide. Okay? It all goes back to genocide. And, the genocide all goes back to Satan. That's my theory. Okay? So this is just another proof of what I'm saying here, which proves that, of course, I log this stuff under conspiracy theories. That's for all of the uneducated brain dead. That way they can say, oh, well, it's just a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy, right? Now, all these conspiracies turned out to be true. So, but just throw it away. It's just a conspiracy. Nobody's out to get you, right? So, the beginning of this, and I found this here. Let's see. This actually is from an attorney general, and it was released April 13th, 2026. So, today's April the 18th. So, this is not an old document. Okay. I'm going to see if I can share it, even though you probably can't see it. There it is. Or there's part of it anyway. Excuse me. Let's see here. Let me just read it to you. But anyway, there it is. And you can Google and find this. This is from Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas. So he's the Texas Attorney General, and you can see this at communications at texas.gov. But the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, launches an investigation into Lululemon over potential presence of toxic forever chemicals in activewear. Okay. Now, if you're my age or older or whatever, maybe you've never heard of Lululemon. But Lululemon is like a women's clothing, and especially for young girls. Okay, so they make shorts, tank tops, spandex, like yoga pants that all these young girls wear now. That's what they specialize in. It's got this little logo on it, their logo, and it's real expensive. So what they've done is they've got this brand out there, like Nike or anything else, and somehow they marketed it where all these young girls want it. So they're all trying to wear these products. Okay. Real popular. They've all got it from what I've seen. And wouldn't you know it, they come to find out this Lululemon product here, especially the yoga pants. There's a reason for that, okay? Now, when I was growing up, they didn't do this. But these days, all these young girls and women of all ages, wear these yoga pants. Okay? One of the key things that they do when they wear these yoga pants is majority of them don't have any underwear on. So they wear these and nothing else. Well, it just so happens that somebody did a little testing on these yoga pants from Lululemon, and the crotch area has been sprayed with a bunch of chemicals that cause, you guessed it, infertility. Imagine that. So let's get some spandex shorts out there or yoga pants and get all these young girls really wearing them. And don't wear them with any panties now, because you don't want to have a panty line. So skin, just right on the bare skin. But before you do, we're going to spray it down with chemicals that will poison you. And it goes right into that area. Imagine that. Sound like a conspiracy theory? Well, according to the Attorney General of Texas, it's not a conspiracy. In fact, he's launched an investigation. It says right here in Austin, Texas, Attorney General Ken Paxton issued a civil investigative demand to Lululemon USA as part of an investigation to whether the company has misled consumers about the safety, quality, and health impacts of its products. Okay, it says Lululemon is a leading activewear brand that has generated over $11 billion in 2025 alone. I told you a bunch of people are wearing it, right? 11 billion. The company markets itself as a wellness-focused lifestyle brand emphasizing sustainability and performance. However, emerging research and consumer concerns have raised questions about the potential presence of certain synthetic materials and chemical compounds in their apparel that may be associated with endocrine disruption, infertility, cancer, and other health issues. So his investigation is going to examine whether Lululemon's athletic apparel contains forever chemicals. And it goes on, and they're on this restricted substance list. And it says Americans should not have to worry if they're being deceived when trying to make healthy choices for themselves and their families. I will not allow any corporation to sell harmful, toxic materials to consumers at a premium price, no doubt. This stuff is expensive. Under the guise of wellness and sustainability, if Lululemon has violated Texas law to be held accountable, well, it has. We know that. I've read some other articles. Some people did some researches on this. The crotch area has been sprayed with some chemicals that cause cancer, infertility, and it messes with your endocrine system, which is all kinds of problems. Okay, they've sprayed it in the crotch because they know these girls aren't wearing any underwear. And it goes right against something that absorbs all these chemicals. Come to find out, I read another article on this, and guess what? They don't wash out. They literally are like impregnated in the material. So even though you wash it, it's still there. So you keep washing it, and it's still there. Every time you wear it, the chemicals soak up into your body, causing cancer. Yeah, that's what you want your little girl to wear. Here, honey, put these on. Oh, it's probably going to kill you, but put them on anyway. Oh, you sure look good with that little logo on there. Got to have that logo. Well, guess what? Guess who owns it? BlackRock. It's one of the primary owners. Imagine that. Well, have you ever looked up BlackRock, the owner of BlackRock? You know BlackRock, right? Remember the guy that got on the roof, supposedly, allegedly, and took a pot shot at President Trump, allegedly? Well, he was in a BlackRock commercial. And then the other guy that showed up, allegedly, to Trump's Mar-a-Lago and had a gun and was going to shoot there too, well, he was in a BlackRock commercial. Wow, what a coincidence. And the list goes on and on and on. But BlackRock is also a big investment company in all these other things, genocidal, if you will. Okay, they're all in on it. That's what they're doing. I mean, how else can you explain kids' yoga pants getting sprayed with chemicals that cause cancer in the crotch area? That's where it comes up at. Imagine that. Like I said at the beginning of this is a satanic agenda. Okay? Satan hates you, and he wants you dead. So he has enlisted lots of devils. He's got a lot of devils running around here. He's got a lot of fallen angels running around here. And then he's got a lot of people that, well, they may be fallen angels. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're real people. Maybe they're devils. Maybe they're devil possessed. You know, like the owner of BlackRock, the main guy of that, Bill Gates. List could go on and on. A bunch of our presidents. They're all into the same stuff. All of them. But, guys like this here, this guy that runs BlackRock, and you can look his name up. I can look it up here in a second. Yeah, that's all he talks about. That's all Bill Gates talks about. Snake bites. Go get your snake bites. Go get bit by a rattlesnake so I can make money. Every time you get bit, I make $10. So I want millions of people, billions. I want 1 billion people bit. 1 billion times 10, see? That's how that works. Oh, and you got it all? Well, now you need another snake bite. So another billion. Oh, now you need another one? Now you need 15 of them. Don't worry, I'm making all the money. Oh, me, myself, I don't go anywhere near rattlesnakes. I don't get rattlesnake bit. My kids, they don't get rattlesnake bit. But you and your kids need to get 15. 15 bites. That way I can become a trillionaire. While you're, of course, you know what happens when you get by a rattlesnake, right? you don't make it for very long after that. It tends to have a very negative effect on your lifespan, if you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so all these same people are into the same stuff. They're not very happy when people live a long, healthy life. So they want you opposite of that. They want you unalived as soon as possible. But it's like I've said before, the devil has this plan out. Number one, he doesn't even want you born. So that's why they push abortion like they do. Get an abortion, get an abortion, get an abortion. They love abortions. Of course, notwithstanding, the abortion is sacrificing a baby to the devil. So, you're sacrificing a child to Satan. So, there's always that plus, right? Because Satan loves that. Not only that, you're never born. So, if you're never born, then we don't have a problem, see? Because you're never around. But then if you do get born, then it comes in to say, okay, well, you've been born. We need to try to get you into being trans or gay or something, or get your body parts chopped off. See, you're not really a little girl. You're a boy. So let's cut off all your organs. That way you can never do anything. Or if you're a little boy, well, let's cut everything off. See, that way you can't procreate. If none of that works, like I've said before, then we'll spray you and we'll drug you and we'll poison you, and hopefully you don't last very long. So let's get some chemicals sprayed in your underwear for little girls. Let's make sure, I'm sure the underwear is that way too. Let's spray the crotch thick with chemicals that never wash out. Made by DuPont, by the way, supposedly. So let's spray some DuPont chemicals all over your crotch area. And then you can wear these things every day, see? And you wash them, but it doesn't wash out. So those chemicals will hopefully soak in and either give you cancer and kill you or make you, infertile. You're not going to be able to do anything. They want that fertility rate down. So if we can get that down and then you still get pregnant somehow, well, then we're going to try to talk you into an abortion. And if you don't do that, then we're going to try, if the baby's born, then we're going to try to, chop it up. It's ridiculous, but that's what we have today. That's the world we're living in. And this piece of paper right here that I just read you, from this Attorney General, this is not the first. They figured out that all kinds of clothing has chemicals in it that literally disrupts your body, gives you a headache, disrupts your endocrine system, makes stuff stop working, gives you cancer. So it's even in your clothes. And, they're doing this on this Lululemon because it's so popular, so they're spraying the crotch. They're spraying the crotches. But do you think it's going to stop anybody from buying it? Yeah. They're going to buy this stuff and they're going to wear it because it's got a logo on it and it's expensive, see? And now it's all about pride. The devil's got you again, see? The devil wants you proud of those clothes. So you've got to have that logo on there so everybody knows it was expensive. That's all pride. Part of the pride of life. Of course, God hates pride. So this is not for God. You're doing it for the devil. So whenever you put them on, you're like, yeah, look at me. I've got some real expensive shorts on. See that logo right there, that Lululemon? That means $500. Or these little things right here that would have cost, $25 someplace else, $125. So these are real expensive. Now they're laced with poison, and it's killing me as I wear them. But look how good I look while I'm doing it. Check it out. My pride level's clear up here, so there's no way I could take them off, right? I couldn't wear a regular pair that's not been sprayed. No way. So, I thought I'd just mention that because a lot of people have probably not heard that. But again, here we are, in the fake everything that you see. fake everything. So yeah, I thought I'd mention that. It's in your clothes. Of course, they're going to target little kids because these little kids are in popularity contests at school. That's what the state-funded indoctrination camps are all about. Popularity. Popularity in a state-run indoctrination camp revolves selling your soul to the devil. That's what they want. They want you so full of pride and everything. You're not allowed to talk anything about God. They teach you came from a monkey. They teach you evolution. They teach you Big Bang. They teach you the globe theory. Everything's in outer space, right? All they want to talk about is the moon and Mars and evolution. That's what they teach. And of course, then they make sure there's a popularity contest going on, so your pride gets the best of you. And if you're not popular and you don't have the pride, or maybe you don't have the money for that, well, you get made fun of to the point, bullied and made fun of to the point that you probably go home and commit suicide, which is exactly what they want. They want you unalived at any cost. And they know that the big popular ones, the pride's going to get you in the end. So, hey, we got you there too. Hey, wear your big toxic clothes and be the most popular one in school with your pride up to here and bragging about everything you have. Hey, you keep that up, you'll never get saved because you're too good to get saved. So you'll be in hell. You're going to hell. So they got you. They got you going straight to hell because those ones that are big and popular like that, you think they're going to pay attention to a guy like me? Do you think they're going to pay attention to anything the Bible says? The Bible's not cool. You don't want to have anything to do with that junk. You got to be popular. Popular is name brand. Okay. Snobbing everybody, being rude to people, hurting people, drinking, doing the drugs, everything that's popular in the world. That's what makes you popular in these institutions. Which is everything that sends you to hell in the real world. But, hey, whatever. I mean, that's all they do is teach fake. So why not? You're going to go to school and learn about the fake moon mission. So you might as well put on a fake plastic face while you're watching it, right? And your fake plastic clothes that are full of poison. Go ahead. What's stopping you? Is there anything stopping you? I know what's stopping me. I mean, I wear clothes, of course, but, like this shirt here, this company it's a grunt style shirt, if come to find out they're spraying poison all in it, I wouldn't wear their shirts anymore. I'd go get a different shirt. I'd have to have my logo printed on another shirt, I guess, right? I'm not so prideful that I have to wear this shirt, but I'm old, so it doesn't make any difference what I do. Anyway, so, yeah, if you've been keeping up with anything, you know that I've been talking a little bit about Artemis, the pagan god Artemis, that whole fake thing. So anyway, I've watched some more on that, and it just gets faker and faker and faker, but you can't tell anybody that. They don't believe a thing about it. So let's see if I've got anything here, a comment that I can mention. Yeah, so I was reading, like I said, I was reading these different comments on this, and I'll just go over one here real quick. But and it reminded me, the guy that's the president of BlackRock is named Larry Fink. That's it. He's another one of those guys that, just supposedly started a business and now is a billionaire. Same as Bill Gates. All these guys that are into that stuff are all billionaires or, trillionaires, and they all say the same junk. They've all got the same agenda. They're all working for the same master, in other words. So this says, Larry Fink is the president of BlackRock. He's also one of the head members of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Okay, that's one of the ones that's responsible for the big pandemic that we had here a while back, and they're also responsible for all of the rattlesnake bites that everybody got. They were pushing rattlesnake bites. That's all they can talk about. And if you don't get them, you should be banned, that kind of deal. So this deal here also, they're all part of the WHO, the World Health Organization, the WHO, right? They're also in on this. And this WHO says, he said they're also promoting Bill Gates, of course, in his depopulation theory and programs. So how does this surprise anyone? So think about who owns the stuff you're doing and what you're getting. But at the same time, it's like it says, the WHO and the WEF are so deep into every part of our economies. They're in our infrastructure, our healthcare, food chain, farmland. Bill Gates is big into that. Water supplies, fill it full of fluoride. Housing, immigration, pharmaceuticals, communication, news media, and of course, now our clothing. So basically, everything that they touch or have any part of is somehow designed to shorten lifespans. And I mean everything. So, the good news is, I guess, if you can get some good news out of this is, God is allowing all this stuff to happen. This is not going on where he can't control it. This is all what the devil's doing. The devil's in control. We've talked about this. He's running the earth. This is his agenda. So his agenda is to depopulate. So, because he hates humans because God loves humans. It's on and on and on. So he's going to use everything in his disposal to thin the herd, so to speak. And he's got all of these people working for him. Now, again, is Bill Gates an actual man? Probably. I don't know. He may be a fallen angel of some kind. If he is, he's aging pretty bad. Looks pretty nasty. I think he's probably a regular man who worships the devil, devil possessed possibly, and he'll get exactly what's coming to him. I hope I'm there to see it. I really do. He's gonna stand before that judgment seat, and all those billions are gonna help him one bit. So hopefully, all the people that have been maimed, unalived from all the snake bites that he's put out all over the world in other countries that have killed, it's unbelievable. Hopefully, he'll get exactly what he deserves. And that's a pretty low portion of hell. Him, the Larry Finks, all of the World Health Organization guys that are pushing snake bites and getting people unalived left and right all day long. Hopefully they get exactly what they deserve. But, the only good that can come of this is, I say good, is, if you're saved, at least you're going to get to heaven. We live in a world controlled by Satan. So, we're supposed to be living in the world, but not of the world. That's what the Bible says. And they're going to get you one way or another. The only way you can survive any length of time at all is simply if God's protecting you. Because, the water you drink, the air that you're breathing, all food now, your clothing, the cell phones. You walk outside, you're being zapped. The frequencies, the 5G. It doesn't make any difference where you're at, what you're doing. You cannot get away from it. Everything is designed for depopulation. Even your dentist. They put the fillings in your mouth that are full of mercury. Mercury is deadly poison. Okay. It causes Alzheimer's. It causes all kinds of problems. So what are we going to do? Drill holes in your teeth and dump it in there. That way it can go right into your nervous system, right by your brain. And if you think that's a conspiracy theory, Google, go check out how they have to dispose of. It's called amalgams. Yeah, amalgam. So when they take this stuff out of your mouth, like to replace it or put something else in there or the whole tooth, whatever, they have to handle it and they can't put it in the trash can with all the other stuff. It has to go in a hazardous material bag and be disposed of. It's hazardous material. It's in your mouth, in your teeth. It has to be treated as hazardous material because it is. It's deadly poison. But don't worry. Hey, we'll dump it by the gallon into your mouth. Oh, why are you sick all the time? I wonder. Open up your mouth and look at your fillings. Are they silver colored? Well, that's not silver. That's mercury. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, I don't believe you can even safely go to the doctor anymore. Majority of them are going to secretly, especially if you have to have surgery or something. I mean, God help you. They're secretly having rattlesnake come in there and bite you when you're out. Or they have to have the rattlesnake bite, the venom, they have it mixed in. Somewhere. You can't get away from it. So the only thing you can do, in my opinion, is be saved and pray that God protects you or get you out of here before you have to suffer too long. Of course, I pray for that blessed hope. I pray for that rapture anytime. But, because I'm the same way. I have to eat. And it doesn't even matter. Be like, oh, well, grow your own food. Well, out of what? GMO seeds? You can't get any seeds around here that aren't already tainted. And then you put them in the ground out here? Well, they're spraying chemicals right over it constantly, nonstop, 24 hours a day. That stuff, aluminum, barium, all these chemicals are raining down on the soil. So anything you grow is packed full of it. It's unbelievable. And then it's like, well, all the natural. Well, you go outside to try to harvest your natural stuff. Well, hey, they've dumped a bunch of ticks out there that are full of a disease that they put in there, full of Lyme disease. Not by chance, by design. Or you get ate up by mosquitoes. Well, guess who all else is into, guess who's into ticks that are full of poison? Well, Bill Gates. Same ones. He's also was into mosquitoes. Dumping a bunch of mosquitoes in areas that are full of a bunch of diseases. So they bite you and you get the disease. Imagine that. Why would anybody want to fund that? Why would anybody pay to make things more dangerous and then dump them in people's farms, in the woods? So when you get bit by it, you get sick and die. Oh, that's right. We've got something for sale to help you in case you get bit. We've got that product for sale too, so we'll sell that to you. So we'll engineer, the insect to bite you, and then we'll also engineer something to give you to try to compensate for it. And of course, both are deadly poison. Either way. So it's a satanic agenda. it's one more of them. But I just wanted to point this out here. This is in your clothing too. And this specific brand has been pinpointed out by the state of Texas. Now, I'm sure they're all brands. In fact, one of the articles I read was talking about the military's clothing and how it's laced with a bunch of chemicals. And these companies that are put out to, supply this military clothing, same thing. They've been tested, and they said that some of this clothing, the military's, was absolutely jam-packed full of fluoride. Like levels unbelievable. And so they put these things on and it absorbs into their body. So even if you don't drink the water full of it, well, they've got your clothes doused with it. Of course, it makes perfect sense, right? Think about it. If fluoride, number one, is poison. Years ago, it was used to kill animals, kill insects. It's a deadly poison. Now, supposedly, it helps fight cavities. Keeps your teeth looking a little whiter. So let's dump millions of gallons of it in your drinking water. So your teeth got a little sparkle to them. But what else does it do? Oh, well, it's toxic. You know what else it does? You have this little thing up in your head by your brain called the pineal gland. Okay? It's part of your brain, basically, right up in there. Somehow, and I'm not a doctor, right? I mean, I'm not a medical doctor. That gland has to do with your free will and how you think and some other things. So if they can knock that gland out, you're easier to control. You're more like a zombie, if you will. So guess what fluoride does? It attacks that gland. It calcifies it and shrinks it down to where it shuts off, ruins it. Perfect. So if we could get that gland in all people calcified and shrunk down, well, they'll do what we say. So instead of saying, nah, I don't think so, they'll be like, well, yeah, we want zombies. Here, take this. Okay. No questions. Do what we say. Here, eat this fake meat. Okay. Here, I've got a couple of rattlesnakes here. Let's get you bit. Okay. Anything you say. You see what I mean? So, perfect. Hey, soak that chemical down in the military's clothing. They're the ones running around with the guns. Of course, bigger guns than your average person. They're the ones driving the tanks and flying the F-16s and driving around out here with the cannons and all that. Do you think they want any free thinkers out there? Somebody that has a brain in their head? Well, no. You do what the government says. Of course, obviously you got to follow orders, of course. But what about when those orders are, you know what? Wipe this whole town out just for fun. Or here, dump this toxic chemical on all these kids. And you say, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to, hey, don't question anything. Put your uniform on. Here, drink this. Drink your Kool-Aid. Get you some snake bites. Now, are you sure? Tighten that uniform up a little tighter. That way, all the chemicals can soak in. And then, when that gland calcifies up to nothing, hey, you'll probably do exactly what you're told, regardless. Just whatever. So, is there any wonder? See, it's like that's how you know the devil's behind it. I don't think there's a man probably on this earth this smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's like, okay, we've got women and young girls wearing those yoga pants, obviously. So spray the crotches with stuff that causes cervical cancer and causes infertility. Soaks right in. So we got them. They're good. Okay. Well, what about the military? Well, hey, we want them to do what we say. with everybody else, of course, but we really want them doing what they say. So be sure that their water is full of fluoride. So we're going to feed that to them by the gallon and soak their clothes with it. So when they put on all their clothes, they get it there too. So they got it in constantly all day, every day, whether they drink any water or not. Here you go. So it makes you wonder what other clothing is out there with what other chemicals. You know, most people don't test any of that stuff. They don't even check. But somebody's checked on the military. They figured that out. Somebody's checked on Lululemon now. They figured that out. What else? You know, I'm sure there's something for men. I mean, whatever some popular men's underwear or something is, I'm sure it's just coated. Well, you know, one of the things they're doing to men is these other chemicals they put in the water and some other stuff, you know. It brings the testosterone level way down and brings the estrogen level way up. That way they're effeminate. They're not real men anymore. Now they're walking around acting like women. I know a few. That, they can't change a flat tire. They're too effeminate. They can't do anything. Women have to do the work for them because they can't do anything. So what's happened? I know a lot of young men like that. They're like young little girls instead of young boys. Well, they've either got their testosterone suppressed somehow, or it's these chemicals in these clothes have reversed it, and they're almost as effeminate as a woman. Well, you get them totally effeminate down and tell them that it's okay to be a sodomite. Well, they're never gonna have any kids anyway because they're interested in other men. So, got them taken care of. You know, I mean, it's from every angle, folks. Every angle. It's like I've said before. This is a worldwide, if you want to say world. You know, no, I'm not talking about world out in outer space. Okay, the world we live in, not a planet in outer space. So this is a worldwide deal. Is depopulate. And everything, I'm just going to make this statement right here. Probably almost everything you know, everything you've been taught, if you are public educated, is a lie or propaganda. Everything. Okay? History is a lie. What you think happened is a lie. What you think is outside the dome is a lie. Everything's a lie. It's designed for one thing, to keep you away from God, to keep you ignorant, to keep you dumbed down. They don't want you asking too many questions. They don't want you asking about your creator. That's why fill everything full of chemicals to dumb you down, to get you to not to think, to calcify your brain. That way you just sit there in a stupor. Or sit in front of the video game all day long like this. Playing video games. Your whole life gone. They don't want you knowing anything. I talked to this teenager who's in school. She's in high school. They don't teach you anything. Oh, she's like top of her class. She doesn't know how to write. Only print. Barely can do that. Doesn't know how to type on a computer. All she knows is how to text with a thumb. There is no more typing. Can't do that. Doesn't know what a check is. Never heard of it. Doesn't know how to balance a checkbook. Oh, you don't need a checkbook. Everything's credit. Well, how do you know how much money you have in the bank? How do you know how much anything? Well, can you even see that? No, I don't know. No clue. Don't know what a bank account is. Don't know how to balance it if you had one. Doesn't know what interest is. Doesn't even know what taxes are. Okay? Made the statement the other day, went and bought some stuff and saw the price and thought that was the price and handed the money. Was going to hand the money over. And then there's that 10% sales tax. And it's like, well, that's not the price. It's this. Tax, honey. Tax? What? What's that? They don't teach you anything. Oh, wait a second. I take that back. She was telling me she had a test the other day on elephants decided that they wanted to, evolve back into fish. They came from fish to elephants, but now they want to go back. So they evolved into whales. Learn that and study it and learn it for a test. I'm serious. So don't worry about taxes, about how to work, how to type, how to read, hardly, how to write. Don't learn anything that you're going to need in the real world. But here, let's do testing on whales. Elephants evolving into whales. That's what we're going to test you on. And so you make sure you understand that. That way you can get high points on your tests. I mean, we've got tests coming up, and, you need to remember the monkey man, that you used to be the monkey. You remember the name of the monkey, right? Don't you remember the fish? Was it 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years? That's the stuff they're teaching. Oh, and, there used to be boys and girls. There used to be males and females, but now that's just what the doctor assigned you at birth. That doesn't mean it's real. Now you can be anything you want to be. Just because some old grouchy doctor, said you're a girl when you were born, because you have all girl parts and, you have a uterus and all that stuff. How dare he say you're a female? And you over there, he said you're a boy? He said you're male because you have all male body parts and all the chromosomes that go along with it? The real science that they used to have? Now, that's not science anymore. They don't teach real science at all. There's no such thing. You can do anything you want. There's no such thing as male and female. It's all on how you feel now. That's what they're teaching them. That's what their testing is over. That kind of junk. So they come back and they're like, oh man, I made the highest in my class in testing. Yeah. You look at the stuff they're learning, it's like, my gosh, you don't know anything. You've been taught nothing. All they teach them is how to be prideful, and they teach them how to have sex with each other and cuss, be vulgar, not have any manners, not respect your parents. In fact, keep secrets. Keep secrets from your parents. Only tell us. Tell us, and we'll keep secrets from them. That's what they're teaching them now in school. And that's in Arkansas. I can only imagine what it's like over there in, California or Washington or one of those states over there or New York, where they're fully ran by Democrats. God only knows what they're doing over there. But this is right here in rural Arkansas. Elephants turning into whales. Can't prove it. Can't replicate it. Don't even have one caught in between, like that missing link. Don't have it. But trust us, it's true. And there is no God. You're nobody. So why bother? In fact, you're your own God. Do as thou wilt. Isn't that what Satan says? Well, he didn't say it necessarily, but one of his followers did. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. More coming. Oh, yeah. Just so you know, this is the Flat Earth Bible, which I wrote, by the way. Not to say I ain't no professional writer, all right, but I did write it. And this is what it looks like. And this is on Amazon. Now, what I've done is it's been out about, let's see, when did this thing come out anyway? It was in 2024 is when I published it. So it's 2026, right? So a couple years. So what I've done is I've went in and changed the cover. So this is an example, and this one's not for sale. This was a whatever this is called, a test. They send you to see if you like it. But this is the new cover. It looks like an old parchment. It's got, the heavens, which is actually in the water, but it's kind of got a firmament. It's got the moon and stars in there, and it says the firmament, says the heaven, says the great deep, and it's got a, picture of Leviathan over here, which is Satan. Anyway, looks a little better. Updated the front, updated the back with a little. Now, this picture is not going to be there. It's got a picture of my podcast logo on there. But cleaned up the back just a little bit, reworded it, because initially when I wrote this one, I had a master's in biblical in theology and was working on the doctor. Well, now I have the doctor's, so changed the back from master to doctor, that kind of stuff. Same book, nothing on the inside has been changed, but just a new cover. So anyway, and I'm also, on this one, I came out with a hardcover. Before, I wasn't going to do that, but there is a hardcover available now with this same cover. I also updated my Book of Enoch. I updated its cover. So it was just kind of a plain Jane, real ugly cover, in my opinion. Now it's got some kind of angels or something with wings on there and a scroll, and I don't really believe most angels have wings, but it's one of those things that most people, if they see one with wings, they assume it's an angel, so that's what it's got. Same as this, it's got a little bitty angel up there, floating around with wings. Do they really have wings? I don't know. Every angel that was mentioned in the Bible never had wings, except like a cherubim or something like that. Anyway, so that's not a deal breaker. If an angel is depicted with wings or without wings, that's not like some heretical thing, I don't think. So anyway, check it out if you want one. It's the same book. If you've already got it, it's the same book. Inside's the same, just a different cover. Anyway, having said all that, I guess I will wrap this thing up. Thanks for listening. Go check out TikTok, Patreon. I'm getting lots of hits on the TikTok. I'm trying to do some Instagram. I got a lot of stuff going on. Anything changes, I'm thinking about going to a TrutherCon again this year in Dallas, Texas. If I do, I will post the link to that, and I'll explain what I'm going to do there. This year, if I go, I think I'm going to set up a booth and try to sell some books, I think. Be a vendor. So, thanks for listening. Have any questions? truthseekers2012@gmail.com. itsflatbro.com. truthseekersministry.org. Check it out. I posted up a whole bunch of new stuff on the Truth Seekers or on It's Flat Bro that has to do with the fake moon deal. Check those out. Pretty interesting videos. They're not mine, but they're interesting. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, God bless you.